Ollie's clap. Ready?
You know, we've been sat like this for 11 years, more or less.
Next to each other.
Next to each
It's
other.
true.
Oh
Slightly.
And that's true.
You
Next.
must be deaf in that ear.
Joseph, this is part of the interview, this, by the way.
Yeah.
We sat next to each other for 11 years in the
Yeah.
changing room, and it was a lot nicer than this. I could put my arm around him.
It was better then.
Oh. Right, so what have the last 48 hours been like for you?
Difficult. At the same time, you got to look forward. You have to think as quickly as possible through whatever happened before, during, and you've got to focus on the next game because it's a big, massive game. It's now, 48 hours is not the time to make rash decisions, or you've got to be sensible, and of course there's things that will happen and we'll change things, but you can't just do it overnight.
In terms of sort of reflecting on the game, I take it you've watched it back. Yeah. How do you move on from it in terms of, watching it again, what disappointed you the most in the game?
Everything. No, more or less everything. We'd set the plan out, and of course we get into a couple of positions early on. Within first minute, there's a couple of things that we worked on, and we turned the opportunities down to do what we worked on. And then it's like, did we hammer it? Didn't we do enough on it, or did we hammer it too much so we didn't feel it was the right thing? When you concede 3 goals on set pieces, 1 long throw in, their corner kick. The last one is not a long throw in, but it's a long throw in, but from their own corner. They're avoidable. We concede from our corner, so all 4 goals are avoidable. But that's not where it went wrong, because it was the application. It was, coming to Goodison Park, it's going to be a tough game. You got to fight for every single inch. Second balls, long balls. You got to fight for every challenge, and they wanted it more.
You said before the game, and it's something that hit me actually driving down. I was going to Cardiff. That reading your quotes, you said that the players needed a reality check before the game. So did you see this coming?
Well, I've been here for 4 months, so it's not like something happens overnight. And you know that in good times everything's rosy and easy. At bad times, sometimes you get some defeats. Every day in training matters, and we've not really had the time to really nail down a few things because there've been so many games. Suddenly, after 5 or 6 games, you're suddenly in a challenge for top 4 again, and we've got to focus on results. And it's not just bring back the identity and everything. We might actually be in with a shout here for Champions League. So, and yes, there are things that you've seen that you will change when you call it a fresh start when a new season starts.
When you get a game like that or a result like that, you've obviously got a huge game coming up tomorrow night in the Manchester derby. Is it a case of, you said we can't make rash decisions, is it a case of send them out again, the same players, or is it a case of, you're not going to tell me the team,
no.
Is it a case of, no, I need to make drastic changes, there needs to be a consequence of what I saw on Sunday?
Of course there'll be consequences. I don't think you'll see I know we're not going to see the same team, not exactly the same team, but we had a plan before the game how we're going to look against City anyway, and some decisions would have to wait for after, say maybe he finds a good game, or he's off the form, so we had a plan anyway. So and those 2 plans weren't the same.
I was going to ask you that actually, because of the result on Sunday, does it change how you approach this game versus City? In terms, are you more front foot, or are you measured? Does it change the way in which you think?
Of course, a game like this changes a lot how you think, but it's about a reaction, a response. You provoke a reaction, you inspire a reaction, whatever. Management is not that easy. Sometimes.
A little wake-up call.
But anyway, you've got to make push the right buttons, because we can't work on the pitch. You can't work on fitness, or it's mindsets, and of course a reaction. Because I know the players, they're good, very good players, talented players, work rate. There's loads of talk about all that stat and blah blah blah. We didn't run enough. And Everton outrun us, they outworked us, and that was the thing. That we got outworked on the pitch, but we outworked and outsprinted many other teams in the Premier League, but that game needed something different to what we gave. And City will have that we have to bring something different to that game. We know the quality of their team, but the response, and we want the fans clapping us off after knowing that we've give absolutely everything, tactically, mentally, physically, and of course we have to handle the ball.
In terms of the players' reaction, Nemanja Matic, Paul Pogba, David De Gea have all come out publicly and used strong language in terms of, we disrespected the fans, we apologise. Does that give you some comfort that the players at least are taking responsibility for what happened at the weekend?
Yeah, they know, and we've spoken honestly, and we spoke honestly half-time and after the game, and we know that that's not acceptable. That performance is not acceptable if you want to get to the top where we we think we belong. And they're good characters, all of them. Sometimes it happens. I can say twice we've really let ourselves down this year by performances and overall. That was that game, and it was a game against Wolverhampton in the FA Cup. Those two are far, far, far below the standards. Other games have been, we won some games when we didn't perform fantastically, but these two are the standout ones.
In terms of Manchester City, you can't do anything about it because it is the fixture that you've got. But is it also the fixture that you need after a defeat like Sunday in terms of bouncing back and it being such a huge game in terms of Premier League in this season?
Yeah, definitely. For me, it's the best one we could have because there's no hiding place. The world's watching, the whole of Manchester is watching, Liverpool is watching, everyone's watching, and on a football pitch, you play for that. You got pride, and our players' pride has been hurt badly, and my pride, the club's pride. So that game is a great chance for us to put things right and say we are, because we know we've got a way to go to get where we want to be, but it's a step on where the standards can be. We can show what standards we do have.
In terms of the Manchester City-Liverpool thing, have you got anything to say on that?
No, because there've been two good teams that have been the best, and they've just got to fight it out. We've got to do our job, and over the course of a long season, the winner deserves it most of the time.
In terms of obviously where you want to be, you said on Sunday that you're going to be successful at this club, and obviously at this moment in time, Manchester City are the current champions. What does Manchester United need to do to get to that level that City are currently at, and how far away do you feel you are at the moment?
Well, you need stability, you need consistency in what we're doing, we need a long-term plan. Of course, we need short-term results. That's always important in a team, because the short-term gains will then make it easier to sell your ideas, or the players to buy the ideas, or the club to, and we want to find that identity within the whole group and the squad of the players we've got, and you can't compare. But of course, there's, Jurgen and Pep. They've been very, very successful in building a team over the years, and I think everyone knows that part of the success is having time to have that continuity.
Jose Mourinho used strong language about these players 6 to 8 months ago and was criticised at the time for losing the players. You've used some strong language in the last few days about the fact that some of these players will not be on this journey with you. Are you coming to the same conclusion as he did?
Well, sometimes, I don't think I could sit there after the game and say, well, we're happy with this, because we weren't happy with it. And I told the players as well. And sometimes when you speak to the press, speak to you now, it's not like I can't defend a performance like this, and the players know it, and they don't defend it themselves. But I love the players. I've enjoyed more or less every single second of it. Of course, you don't enjoy losing games, because that's the worst part of football. But they're good lads, and we just keep on working on changing some of these attitudes, and they are willing to learn. And if you're not willing to learn, if you're not willing to pick up the mantle, or when you're left out, that means there's two things you can do then. You can either leave it, or you can work harder to get back in, to tell me and the club and your teammates, I want to get back into this team. So they've got decisions to make, the ones who are not getting the chances they feel they deserve.
In terms of the sort of next few months, you've got two big jobs, haven't you? You've got one which is the immediate, which is winning football matches, and you're the coach of the team, so you have to work with them every single day, the current players you've got. But behind the scenes, you know, other clubs are rebuilding as well. Your likes of Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Arsenal, etc. Other teams want players. How much time are you spending on the current bit, which is the team, and the bit behind the scenes, which is the long-term planning of getting this squad right? And how are you being helped on that?
Oh, we spend hours and hours on both, to be fair, and that's the when you're a coach. So I've got fantastic staff. You know, the Kieran, Michael, Dems, Emilio, Mick. They're working unbelievable. So when I come in 7 o'clock or 7:30 this morning, they're there. They're already discussing. So the work rate is unbelievable. The ambition and the drive in the coaching staff for the short term and the long term, because we're planning now pre-season. We're planning to get fitter. We're not going to get. I don't want my team to be outrun by Everton by 7 kilometers or whatever we were. So we're planning that way, and we got the squad. We see where we feel players will be in 2 or 3 years' time, because you've got to have that long-term planning, and I'm getting good help. We've got recruitment meetings, we've got scouting meetings. It takes a lot of time, this management. No, but it's a great challenge. But as you say, you can't divide. I spend 2 hours there and 6 hours there, but it's 24-hour constantly.
Are you confident that you will get this squad right in this next couple of seasons?
Definitely. Because I can see so many good things about them, and so many things with the players that we got that we could improve on. And I have 100% confidence that we can find the right players to come in and fit our mold of the personality, the quality, and you know, Man United, we've never been a slow build-up team. We want pace, we want power. We need a personality to play for this club. So those are attributes I'm looking for.
In terms of tomorrow night, the Manchester derby, you walked over to those fans at the end of the game. What one message would you send to them ahead of this match, knowing how important it is for both clubs? Back
to players again, because we know that they're going to come out and do whatever they can to rectify. You can't win those 3 points back, but we can give everyone a showing that we are a Man United team.
Think about Manchester United defeat at Everton on Sunday, but all the other results in and around that top four went your way, even Chelsea dropping points to Burnley last night. Is it a case of, come Sunday evening after the Chelsea game, 6 points on the board and Everton becomes a distant memory? Yeah, definitely. I think so. If you come out with 6 points or 4 points in these two games, you have to beat Chelsea, obviously, to go past them. I think the lone